It's okay to be spiritual, even if you're not religious, don't have any crystals to put under the moon, and don't have time to meditate.
Because that's when life gets fun, becomes fulfilling, and then you discover that it really is okay to be spiritual. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Views expressed are those of the hosts and guests' personal experiences. The information provided is not a substitute for professional advice, whether medical, legal, or otherwise. Welcome back to another episode of It's Okay to Be Spiritual. Hi, Laurie.
Hey, Helen.
Who's shuffling today?
Do you want to talk about what's happened in our week first?
Oh, our week. Synchronicities and signs times.
We've had a great week, actually. I've had a great week. Have you had a great week?
I've had a great week, but you start first.
So it's early November, just in case anyone is watching this back, and I set songs. So we know I set signs. I like to set songs as my sign. And so there's a song called September by Earth, Wind and Fire. It's quite an old song. It's the Dancing in September song.
Oh, yeah.
And so I set that song with the universe to drop in when things are about to get amazing.
Ooh.
And I heard it twice on Sunday.
Twice? What happened on Sunday?
So I went to the AFL, the Women's AFL in Ipswich, and as I walked in, the band was playing, and that was the song they were playing. Had I have walked in 5 minutes later, I would have missed it. And so that was just a great day all round when that song drops in. But then I got home later that night and I saw it on someone's social feed as well.
Ooh.
So that's twice in one day.
What's the sign mean?
It just means things are going to get great.
Ooh.
I just like a heads up.
Dancing in September. I wish I could remember how it goes.
I don't sing.
Nor do I. Shouldn't sing.
But then I've also had a little 1, 2, 3s.
Oh, they're your favourite number?
They're my favourite number, so that means I'm on the right track. And we had a big 1, 2, 3 day.
We did.
You and I.
Oh, yeah. We went and had a look at some podcasting equipment.
We did.
And there were 1, 2, 3s everywhere.
Everywhere.
Remember the door with the room 1, 2, 3, turn over a new leaf, basically?
Yeah. We just had signs everywhere that day. And so we were just looking at podcasting gear and thinking about our future, where we might go with this, and it just felt really good, hey?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
And we helped someone find a new and better office, sort of by accident through the process.
We did too. And then let's talk about the car that followed both you and I around town.
Yes, Mr. A to B.
A to B courier. So I saw this car. And I messaged it to you because the 1, 2, 3s were very full on, and this was the day after we'd had the 1, 2, 3s together. And I have this song, Taylor Swift, Bejeweled. I have a lot of songs.
You do.
Too many. I know them all and what they mean. But this song was playing, and it was in a car 2 over. And between me and the Taylor Swift car was this A to B couriers, and he had It's Easy as 1, 2, 3 on the bottom of his door.
Oh.
And then his phone number ended in 222.
That's the only part I noticed. I didn't see the 1, 2, 3 part.
You didn't see the 1, 2, 3?
No.
That's why I sent it to you.
I thought you were sending it to because of the A to B. Did you see the 222 until I showed you?
No, I saw the 222.
Oh.
But then it followed you, right? I sent it to you that morning.
Yeah, and then I went and did an errand, ended up at a Autobarn shop for Max. Of course, I never go there. The guy at the checkout said, "Hope to see you again soon." I said, "No, I hope you don't, because I'm doing an errand. I'm running an errand for my husband." And then the A to B courier's parked beside me. And he, of course, is reversed in, so he gets out faster than I do. And I followed him for blocks. That's when I noticed the 222.
Yeah, and it was absolutely for us, right? So now not only are we seeing signs individually, we're seeing the same sign. So we know it's the energy coming for both of us. And we don't really need to know more than that.
Oh, good. I was trying to work out what A to B means.
So that's the thing. When you see signs and like you're chatting with people about them, you can just ride on the enthusiasm and just that vibration, the higher vibration that comes in when you see that. You know it's for you.
And the excitement of it. It was exciting.
It feels good, right?
Yeah. And makes makes life feel a bit more mysterious or magical.
Agree. So should we shuffle a card?
Okay. I've got a little story while you shuffle. During the week, I was running a little bit late to get to work, and then I couldn't find anything. So now I'm a few extra minutes late. And I started to get a bit annoyed with Maxie because I was late. And I blamed him for not being able to find the thing. And then as I'm walking halfway to where I needed to go, someone calls out, "Helen!" And it was someone I'd met months ago, and I'd been wondering what had happened to this person and had they found a new place to live and were they okay, but I didn't have their number. And so it was really great to see them. But had I been walking that spot at the time that I thought I wanted to walk there, they wouldn't have seen me because they had to call out to me to get my attention. We didn't sort of like really bump into one another. And he said, "Oh, I felt so uncomfortable calling out to you." And I said, "No, I'm so glad you did." But had I been on my timeline and not the divine timeline, wouldn't have connected.
And I think that's such an important thing to realize. Sometimes when you're being delayed or someone's holding you up or the appointment ahead of you is going so much longer, there could be something else going on behind the scenes because you're meant to cross paths with someone in the reception area that you wouldn't have if you were on time, or you're meant to run into someone.
We never know what it is, but it's always meant to be something.
Yeah, and we just got to have faith in that.
Okay, what do we get? How do you choose which medium or psychic to book with? Oh, that's uncanny.
This is a fun card.
Well, I do it by feel.
And how do you feel? Are you looking at a photo? Are you walking past them? Do you even get a chance? I feel a lot of mediums and psychics are online nowadays.
Well, you can get a feel from the web page itself. You know, like our energies go into things, the colours we choose for the web page, or the photos the way we do our photos, or the words we choose for our website really convey a lot about our frequency as well. So even if it's online, really all you need is a name and a photo to sort of feel into it, to sense into it. And I always like to choose the people that I always want to make sure that the people I go and see have a really clear channel. So that means a really high vibration, a really divine connection, lots of love streaming through them so that they get a really clear read and I get a more accurate read. What about you?
I personally rely on someone mentioning that they've seen someone and they really enjoyed them.
Word of mouth is great.
I think word of mouth, a lot of mediums and psychics don't have great tech skills or web pages. They might just have a phone number or like a Facebook landing page. So, and often the ones that are little untapped resources, they've just got a little something more about them because they're so busy doing readings, they don't have time to do a web page.
That is absolutely true.
And spirit will bring you the people that you need to hear from you. So I think there's a little bit of faith in the universe too. If someone's mentioned, "Hey, I had a great reading with this person," it's possibly being shown on your path for a reason if you were considering that.
I suppose I was thinking about, walking around when I first answered the question, I was thinking about what's it like when you're walking around like a spiritual fair or a psychic fair or something like that.
Because that's another way to access a medium or a psychic, isn't it? To go to a fair, which we have a little clip on our page about, and they're not as scary as what people might think.
No, not at all.
No. There was an ad, it may be in the 90s, of the psychic fair. Do you remember the woman and her child? And there was definitely a persona or an image or a thing that you associated with psychic fairs.
Yeah, you watched that kid grow up on those ads.
Yeah. And so I think it's very progressive now, it's a great vibe, lots of people, there's lots of laughing. It doesn't need to be dark or dreary or lots of, grief, and it can be really uplifting and it's not scary. A medium is not there to scare you. And you can set your boundaries before a read as well. If there's something you don't want to know about or you don't want to hear, you can say that.
And the reading itself isn't set in stone either, because the psychic or probably more for the psychic or the clairvoyant, are reading your energy field as it stands in that moment. And that can change.
Agree. And so why don't we just talk about the difference between a medium and a psychic?
Yes, Laurie, what is the difference between a medium and a psychic?
How I understand it and what I believe to be true is that a medium will connect with a past spirit or a soul that's no longer here. So they
in the physical.
No longer here in the physical. Good pickup. And so they are a loved one that's passed and they have to increase their vibration and then they connect into that spirit and then bring the messages through their body. And so a medium will give you validation and information from that person's life. So maybe they were a singer or maybe they were in a car accident or something will validate the confirmation that that person is who is coming through. Whereas a psychic reads the energy field, like you just mentioned, and they use an heightened ability of their senses, which they are attuned to, and they take a while to develop that. And so they're reading your energy on the day and what is coming through using their abilities. And so they work with their guides and their own gifts to do that.
I never really understood the difference because quite often people can do both, can't they? They can be a really great clairvoyant and a medium when they need to be. Some people are more leaning one way or the other, but it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. I guess it depends on what you want out of your reading at the end of the day, I should say.
Agree. So if someone has passed or you want to connect with a loved one or it's their birthday or you're dealing with something in your life today that was from them. So if you've been left an inheritance or an estate. So I had a meeting with my accountant this week.
This is going to be interesting.
And he was talking about his dad and his dad had passed and had left him.
Oh, this isn't where I thought it was going.
No. And so his dad had passed and he was talking about the house that he'd left and he was having to do a lot of work to it and he was torn emotionally whether to sell the property, whether his dad would have wanted him to sell it or whether he would have wanted him to keep it and hand it down for the kids. And it led on to a conversation about putting in our wills, our intent for what we hand down to our children. So that's how it started. But as he's talking, I start to feel dad come into my body. And so my body was vibrating. I get this urge to say something.
For those who don't know, Laurie has psychic ability already. Like she's already doing psychic readings for people and, you know, someone mightn't have known that. Continue on.
Yeah. But it's very new, right? So I've only done medium work through photos. So this isn't something that commonly happens to me. It had happened once before with this same person, the accountant. His dad had popped in before and he was wondering whether to employ someone. And I just got this clear message, definitely employ them, but the concern you had is valid. So just keep that in mind. And so I said that, but I didn't say how I knew that. And then we just went about our day. But this instance, the energy was so strong in my body. So you feel them come in, you just get this urge to say something and you're almost having a conversation in your head. And I'm going, I'm not saying that. I don't know what to say. I'm not saying that. I don't know what you want me to say. And so I am not confident enough to read on the spot like that. So I recommended he speak to someone who I know is a good medium. But that person then said to me, why didn't you just read? And I got caught out, really.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You got shy.
I got shy in talking to the spirits.
Oh, my gosh. And this accountant's father was like, I'm in. She's going to do it for me. Oh, no, she's not.
Pretty much. I let everyone down. I let myself down. I let the message down. But there was definitely clarity in a conversation that his dad wanted to bring through, and I just wasn't able to do it on the spot. And that's another thing. Like, you do have to have this whole other level of faith, and being able to speak up in a situation like that is very daunting.
It is. It still is. And, you know, that's some of the things that we'd really like to break down with this podcast, isn't it, really? I just think, you know, the people who are 10 and 20 and 30 years older than us who've endured so much more, particularly the psychics and the mediums, who've endured so much more resistance from the general public and ridicule. You know, we won't ever experience that degree of resistance because the world is more open now than it was 20, 30, 40 years ago. But clearly you're still feeling it.
Yeah, and also faith in your own abilities. So when mediums and psychics do step into the space and offer readings, know that they have probably been through a lot themselves. Personally, you do need to have, I believe, there is some type of trigger to step into this because it's not an everyday person thing. You know, not everyone wants to do it. So there is some type of trigger that makes you want to support someone and do a psychic or medium reading, and you might find that that's your connection with someone, so their experiences might mirror yours, or you might really appreciate their insights and what they went through, and their experiences may support you and what they did and what they went through. So when you do find a psychic or a medium that you connect with, you really do feel it on some level.
Sorry, I wasn't actually listening to you then, Laurie. I was thinking about how could Laurie be like the seatbelt psychic but the accountant psychic? I just don't think that's going to roll. I just don't think that accountant psychic, it's just not as fun.
That's a great show, right? The what's he called again? Seatbelt psychic.
Seatbelt psychic, isn't he?
Yeah, he's fun. I like it. I'd get a reading in his car.
Yeah. The CPA psychic just doesn't sound as good.
No. So, I mean, that's how I would choose someone to read. Relationship, experience, how you feel in their presence.
Definitely how you feel in their presence. Yeah, you want to feel that warmth, the comfort, the reassurance in their presence. You don't want to feel challenged. You don't want to feel confronted. And you don't want to feel, what's the word for it? Like when you're challenged, you're confronted, when you feel like they're going to slap something down and scare you. That's spirit is love energy. So the true reading will come through with love.
And I like to laugh in my card readings a lot. I just laugh.
Yeah.
Because I think it's fun. And I will often compare your great reading to my horrid reading, and I guarantee you'll feel great at the end of it because mine's so much worse all the time because I'm being very challenged, but that's what I'm here for.
Yeah. Well, spirit is fun. Love, fun, joy, they all go together. Yeah. So, good luck choosing your next reading.
Enjoy.
And have fun.
We'll catch you next time.
Bye for now.